Have you ever wondered why you can walk into a room where a heated argument just ended and feel the tension, even if the air is silent? Or why some people seem to draw opportunities to them like a magnet, while others, despite their constant effort, remain stuck in the same exhausting loop? We have been taught to communicate with words, with logic, and with physical force. But what if I told you that the universe is completely deaf to your words, and yet it is listening to you every single microsecond? It is listening to a language you were never taught to speak, but one you have been broadcasting since the moment you were born. That language is not English or math or code. It is frequency. Take a deep breath. Feel the air entering your lungs, the slight expansion of your chest, the subtle beat of your heart. To your eyes, you are a solid being sitting in a solid world. But if we were to zoom in past the skin, past the cells, past the atoms, we would find that there is actually nothing solid there at all. You are a shimmering cloud of energy, vibrating at a specific rate. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every belief you hold is a distinct note in a symphony that you are constantly playing into the void. And the universe, it doesn't judge the music. It simply resonates with it. Think about a tuning fork. If you strike a fork tuned to the note of C and place it near another fork tuned to the same note, the second one will begin to vibrate on its own. This is the law of resonance. It is a fundamental principle of physics, but it is also the fundamental principle of your life. If your internal state, your frequency, is tuned to the vibration of lack or I am not enough, the universe, like that second tuning fork, can only respond by vibrating in harmony with that lack. It isn't a punishment. It isn't fate. It is simply the physics of the soul. We often spend our entire lives trying to change the outside world. We move to new cities, we switch jobs, we find new partners, hoping that the scenery will finally make us feel at peace. But if you bring the same radio station to a different city, you're still going to hear the same music. The static doesn't go away just because you changed your coordinates. The secret that the ancient mystics knew, and that quantum physicists are only now beginning to touch, is that the outside is merely a mirror of the inside. Nikola Tesla once said that if you want to find the secrets of the universe, you must think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. He wasn't just talking about electricity and light bulbs. He was talking about the fabric of reality itself. Imagine for a moment that your consciousness is a radio dial. On one end of the spectrum, you have the heavy, dense frequencies of fear, shame, and survival. These are slow vibrations. They feel like lead in your stomach. They make the world look narrow, dangerous, and scarce. On the other end, you have the light, rapid frequencies of joy, gratitude, and unconditional love. These aren't just nice feelings. They are literal states of energy. When you are in a state of deep gratitude, your heart actually emits a different electromagnetic field, one that can be measured several feet away from your body. You are quite literally broadcasting a signal that says, I have received, I am full, I am abundant. And because the universe only speaks frequency, it receives that signal and says, yes, this is what you are, here is more of it. But here is the trap. Most of us are waiting for something good to happen before we feel the frequency of joy. We say, once I get the job, I'll feel successful. Once I find the person, I'll feel loved. But the universe doesn't work in linear time like we do. It works in the present moment. If you are waiting for something, Your frequency is the frequency of waiting. And what does waiting bring you? More waiting. To change the reality, you have to find the frequency of the result before the result arrives. You have to learn to speak the language of the end before the beginning has even caught up. Close your eyes for a second. Think of something you desperately want. Now, notice the feeling behind that wanting. Does it feel like a hollow space in your chest? Does it feel like a nagging hunger? That is the frequency of not having. As long as you broadcast the signal of not having, the universe, which is a perfect mirror, must reflect not having back to you. This is why trying so hard often pushes our goals further away. The harder we try, the more we emphasize the fact that we don't have it yet. The shift happens when you stop wanting and start being. How do you start being something that hasn't appeared in your physical reality yet? It starts with understanding that your 5 senses are actually a very narrow filter. We think we see the world as it is, but we only see a tiny fraction of the electromagnetic spectrum. We are swimming in a sea of invisible signals, Wi-Fi, radio waves, cellular data, all passing through your body right now. You can't see them, touch them, or taste them, but you know they are real because when you have the right receiver, you can translate those invisible waves into music or images. Your consciousness is that receiver. In quantum physics, there is a concept called the superposition. It suggests that at the subatomic level, a particle doesn't exist in one specific place until it is observed. Before it is measured, it exists as a wave of probability, a ghost-like state of being everywhere and nowhere at once. This means that every possible version of your life already exists as a frequency in the field. The version of you that is healthy, the version that is creative, the version that is at peace. They aren't future events. They are current frequencies. The only reason you aren't experiencing them yet is that your dial is currently tuned to a different station. Think of your habitual thoughts as the background noise of your life. Most people wake up and immediately begin scanning their memory for their problems. By doing this, they are effectively reconnecting to the same frequency they had yesterday. They think the same thoughts, which lead to the same choices, which create the same behaviors, which produce the same experiences. They are essentially asking the universe for a rerun of a show they've already seen 1,000 times. And the universe, ever the faithful servant, obliges. It says, if this is the vibration you are emitting, this is the reality I will provide. But what happens when you intentionally interrupt the program? What happens when you sit in the silence of the early morning and refuse to tune into the problem station? This is the essence of what the ancient traditions called the great work. It is the process of stripping away the layers of static, the trauma, the social conditioning, the fear to find the pure tone beneath. Imagine your life as a glass of water. If you stir it violently, the sediment at the bottom rises, and the water becomes cloudy and dark. You cannot see through it, and it cannot reflect the light of the sun. But if you let the glass sit in stillness, the sediment settles. The water becomes clear, and suddenly it becomes a perfect mirror for the sky. We have been conditioned to believe that we must do more to change our lives. We believe in the hustle, the grind, the physical manipulation of matter. But matter is the slowest, densest form of energy. Trying to change your life by only changing your physical actions is like trying to change the image on a movie screen by running up to the screen and painting over the actors. It's exhausting and it doesn't work. If you want to change the movie, you have to go to the projection booth. You have to change the film. You have to change the light. The heart is the strongest generator of electromagnetic energy in the human body. It is roughly 5,000 times more magnetically powerful than the brain. While the brain thinks in linear patterns, the heart speaks in fields. When you feel a genuine emotion like the warmth of a memory or the awe of a sunset, you are firing a massive pulse of energy into the quantum field. This pulse is a command. It is a signal that bypasses the logical mind and speaks directly to the fabric of reality. This is why every major spiritual tradition emphasizes the heart over the intellect. The intellect is a tool for navigating the world, but the heart is the tool for creating it. Consider the experiments of Dr. Masaru Emoto, who looked at the crystalline structure of water after it was exposed to different human intentions. Water that was told words of love and gratitude formed beautiful, symmetrical, complex crystals. Water exposed to words of hate or chaos formed jagged, fractured, and incomplete shapes. Now, remember that your body is roughly 70% water. Every time you speak to yourself with harshness, every time you let a frequency of "I am a failure" resonate through your bones, you are literally reshaping the crystalline structure of your own biology. You are freezing yourself into a shape that cannot hold the light of a higher reality. The universe is not listening to what you want. It is listening to what you are. If you are wanting love, you are broadcasting "I am without love." And the universe will faithfully maintain that state of being, without. But if you can tap into the frequency of love not because someone else gave it to you, but because it is the fundamental nature of your own soul, the outside world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match you. It is a mathematical certainty. It is the law of the mirror. Your attention is the most valuable currency in existence. Where your attention goes, your energy flows, and where your energy flows, your frequency stabilizes. Think of your attention as a high-powered laser. Most of us spend our days firing that laser at things we dislike, things we fear, or things we are trying to avoid. We watch the news and feed the frequency of chaos. We scroll through social media and feed the frequency of comparison and not being enough. We replay old arguments in our heads, firing the laser of our consciousness back into a past that no longer exists. By doing this, we are literally feeding those realities with our own life force. This is what Carl Jung meant when he said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Your shadow is simply a collection of frequencies you have suppressed. They are the parts of your song that you've tried to mute because someone told you they were too loud, too dark, or too strange. But a muted frequency doesn't disappear. It just becomes a low-level hum in the basement of your psyche. And that hum, that secret, hidden vibration, is still being broadcast to the universe. If you wonder why you keep attracting the same bad luck or the same toxic people, it's often because your shadow frequency is doing the talking while your conscious mind is busy looking the other way. To change your broadcast, you must first become a master of your own silence. Most of us are terrified of silence. We fill every gap with noise, podcasts, music, chatter, internal monologues, because in the silence, we have to face our own vibration. In the silence, we feel the static of our anxiety or the heaviness of our unexpressed grief. But silence is not empty. Silence is the 0-point field. It is the canvas upon which all frequencies are painted. When you sit in true silence, you are effectively clearing the cache of your consciousness. You are returning to the baseline, the primordial hum of the universe itself. Ancient cultures called this the ether or prana. They understood that the physical world is just a crystallized version of a much more fluid reality. If you want to move a mountain, you don't start with the rocks. You start with the vibration that holds the rocks together. This sounds like magic, but it is actually the most advanced form of technology, biological technology. Your nervous system is a sophisticated antenna designed to tune into different dimensions of experience. When you are stressed, your antenna is shrunken. You are in survival mode, and your frequency is limited to the narrow band of what might go wrong. But when you are in a state of play or awe or deep meditation, your antenna expands. You begin to pick up signals that were always there, but that you were previously deaf to. Have you ever had a coincidence that felt too perfect to be random? A person calls you just as you were thinking of them. A book falls off a shelf and opens to the exact page you needed to read. A solution to a problem appears out of nowhere the moment you finally gave up on finding it. These aren't accidents. These are moments of temporal resonance. They are signs that your internal frequency has momentarily aligned with the flow of the universe. In those moments, the barrier between you and the world dissolves. You realize that you aren't a person walking through a world. You are the world experiencing itself through a person. So, how do we maintain this alignment in a world designed to knock us out of it? It requires a mental diet. Just as you wouldn't eat poison and expect to be healthy, you cannot consume low-frequency information and expect to feel empowered. Every word you hear, every image you see, and every person you spend time with is a frequency input. They are either tuning your instrument or knocking it out of tune. You must become a gatekeeper of your own field. This isn't about being positive all the time. That is just another form of noise. It's about being intentional. It's about choosing to resonate with truth rather than with the facts of a temporary situation. The facts might say you are broke or lonely or ill. But the truth, the quantum truth, is that you are a localized expression of an infinite energy field. The facts are just a snapshot of your past frequency. They are the echo of what you were broadcasting yesterday. If you react to the facts, you are reacting to the past, which keeps you stuck in the same loop. But if you ignore the echo and choose a new note to play now, the echo will eventually have to change. The universe is a slow-moving mirror. It takes time for physical matter to rearrange itself to match a new frequency. Most people give up during this delay. They play the new note for a day or two, see no change in the mirror and say, "This doesn't work." But the seeds are growing beneath the soil long before the flower breaks the surface. This delay is not a wall. It is a womb. It is the space where your resolve is tested and your frequency is stabilized into a permanent state of being. Think of a massive ship turning in the ocean. The captain turns the wheel, but the ship doesn't pivot instantly. It takes miles of water for the hull to catch up to the new direction. Your physical life is that ship. Your consciousness is the wheel. If you keep turning the wheel back and forth because you don't see the horizon changing fast enough, the ship will simply spin in circles. But if you hold the frequency, if you stay tuned to the vibration of your highest self despite what the current facts say, the ship must turn. There is a term in psychology called cognitive dissonance, which is the discomfort we feel when we hold two conflicting beliefs. But in the realm of consciousness, we can use a version of this called vibrational dissonance. When you start to embody a higher frequency, your old life will start to feel uncomfortable. Friends might drift away. Your favorite habits might start to feel hollow. Your old job might become unbearable. This isn't a sign that things are going wrong. It is a sign that you are no longer a match for your old reality. The universe is simply shaking off the things that cannot survive in your new atmosphere. Imagine the universe as a vast, dark ocean. In this ocean, there are no things, only waves of potential. When you focus your attention on a specific possibility, you are collapsing the wave. You are taking a piece of that infinite potential and freezing it into a particle of experience. But you can only collapse the waves that you are in resonance with. If you are vibrating at the level of surviving, you cannot see the waves of thriving, even though they are washing over you right now. It's like trying to see ultraviolet light with the naked eye. It's there, but your equipment isn't tuned to perceive it. Ancient wisdom tells us that the universe was created through sound. In the beginning was the word, the music of the spheres. These aren't just metaphors. They are descriptions of the vibrational nature of existence. Every object has a resonant frequency, the specific rate at which it naturally vibrates. If you sing a note that matches the resonant frequency of a wine glass, the glass will shatter. Why? Because the energy of the sound becomes so intense that the physical structure can no longer contain it. The same thing happens to your limitations when you find the resonant frequency of your true essence. The glass of your old identity shatters because it can no longer contain the volume of who you actually are. Take a moment now to scan your body. Where are you holding static? Is it in your tight shoulders? Is it in the shallow rhythm of your breath? Is it in the clenching of your jaw? These are physical manifestations of a low-frequency signal. They are the body's way of saying, I am defending, I am hiding, I am afraid. You cannot think your way out of this physical tuning. You have to breathe your way out. The breath is the bridge between the conscious and the unconscious. It is the only bodily function that happens automatically, yet can be controlled at will. When you slow your breath, you are sending a signal to your nervous system that the threat is gone. Your frequency begins to shift from the jagged, staccato rhythm of survival to the long, flowing waves of peace. In this state of peace, you become a superconductor. Resistance drops to zero. Energy can flow through you without being distorted by the friction of your ego. And it is in this state of zero resistance that miracles happen. A miracle is not a violation of the laws of physics. A miracle is simply the operation of a higher law that we don't yet fully understand. When you change your frequency, you change the laws that apply to you. Gravity is a law, but aerodynamics allows a plane to fly. The law of aerodynamics doesn't break the law of gravity. It simply transcends it by using a higher frequency of movement. In the same way, the laws of your past, your trauma, your family history, your social status do not have to be your fate. They are only laws for as long as you remain at that specific vibrational density. The moment you rise, you are governed by a different set of possibilities. Think about the observer effect in quantum mechanics. Scientists discovered that when they looked at an electron, It behaved like a particle, a solid thing. But when they stopped looking, it returned to being a wave, a field of infinite possibilities. This means that the very act of your attention is what freezes the universe into its current shape. The universe is like a shy performer who only plays the role you expect it to play. If you look at your life through the frequency of "I am stuck," the universe obliges by collapsing the wave into a stuck reality. It is waiting for you to look at it differently. It is waiting for you to look past the physical appearance and see the vibrating energy underneath. Your DNA itself is a fractal antenna. It is shaped like a double helix, a geometry that allows it to receive and transmit information across vast distances of space-time. Research has shown that DNA can actually store photons, particles of light. You are quite literally a light body wrapped in a spacesuit of skin. Every cell in your body is communicating with every other cell through biophotonic emissions. You are a shimmering, pulsing web of light, talking to itself at the speed of thought. When you say, "I am tired," or "I am sick," or "I am unworthy," you are sending a command to that light. You are telling your cells to dim their glow. But when you tune into the frequency of your innate divinity, your light begins to coherent. Coherence is the state where all waves are moving in perfect rhythm with one another. Think of a laser versus a light bulb. A light bulb is incoherent. The light waves are scattered and they can only light up a room. A laser is coherent. The light waves are all in phase and they can cut through steel. When your thoughts, your heart, and your frequency are in coherence, you become a laser. Your intention becomes so sharp and so focused that the steel of physical reality begins to melt in your presence. This is why some people seem to have a presence that you can feel the moment they walk into a room. They don't have to say a word. Their field is simply more coherent than yours. And because of a process called entrainment, your own frequency will naturally try to match theirs. This is why it is so important to choose your tribe carefully. You are constantly entraining to the frequencies around you, the music you listen to, the people you talk to, the environment you live in. If you spend all your time in a low-frequency environment, it takes a massive amount of energy just to keep your own light from dimming. But when you step into a high-frequency space, your light begins to amplify effortlessly. We live in a world that is obsessed with content. We want more information, more facts, more things to think about. But content is just a decoration on the wave. The real power is in the context, the frequency underneath the words. Two people can say the exact same prayer. One person says it from a place of desperation and fear, and the universe hears desperation. The other person says it from a place of knowing and gratitude, and the universe hears knowing. The content was the same, but the context was completely different. Which one do you think gets answered? Stop worrying about saying the right words. The universe isn't checking your grammar. It is checking your pulse. It is feeling the texture of your soul in this moment. Are you smooth and flowing like a river, or are you jagged and sharp like broken glass? If you find that you are jagged, don't try to fix yourself. Trying to fix a jagged frequency usually just creates more friction. Instead, just observe it. The moment you become the observer of your frequency, you are no longer in the frequency. You have stepped back into the silence. And in that silence, the jagged edges naturally begin to soften. Think of the ocean. On the surface, there might be a storm. There are waves, chaos, and wind. If you are a boat on the surface, you are at the mercy of the weather. But if you dive just a few feet down, the water becomes still. The deeper you go, the quieter it gets. At the very bottom of the ocean, there is a silence that has never been broken by a storm. Your consciousness has the same depth. Most of us spend our lives being tossed around by the weather of our emotions and our circumstances. We think we are the storm, but you are the ocean. The storm is just something that is happening on your surface. What if the greatest secret of all is that you don't actually have to reach for a higher frequency? What if you are that frequency and you've simply been filtered through a lens of resistance? Think of a diamond buried in the mud. The mud doesn't change the nature of the diamond. It just obscures its ability to reflect the light. Your journey isn't about becoming something new. It is a process of unbecoming everything that isn't you. It is the shedding of the noise until all that is left is the signal. In the ancient philosophy of the Tao, there is a concept called Wu Wei, the art of effortless action. It is the frequency of the river, which doesn't try to reach the sea. It simply flows because it is its nature to do so. When you stop fighting the current of your own life, you stop creating the friction that lowers your vibration. You begin to move with a quiet, magnetic authority. You no longer have to chase opportunities, because you have become a destination for them. The universe doesn't respond to the person who is running. It responds to the person who is present. Take another deep breath. Imagine that with every exhale, you are releasing the need to control the outside world. You are letting go of the how and the when. You are dropping the heavy baggage of trying to make things happen. As you release this tension, feel your internal frequency begin to rise, not because you are adding something, but because you are no longer holding yourself down. You are like a cork that has been held underwater for years, finally allowed to float to the surface. This is the state of grace. It is a frequency where the ego's small, frantic voice is drowned out by the deep, resonant hum of the infinite. In this state, you realize that there is no out there. The person you love, the goal you seek, the peace you crave, they are all ripples in your own pond. When you change the vibration of the water, every ripple changes with it. You are the composer, the instrument, and the music all at once. As you move through your day, remember that you are a walking broadcast. The world you see is not a fixed reality. It is a readout of your current state. If you don't like what you see, don't try to break the mirror. Change the face that is looking into it. Find the feeling of the life you want to live and wear it like a garment. Speak from it. Breathe from it. Walk from it. The universe is singing a song of infinite abundance, infinite health, and infinite love. It has been singing it since the beginning of time. It never stops. It never wavers. The only question is, are you in tune with it? You don't need to learn a new language. You just need to remember the one you already know. Because frequency is the only language the universe speaks, and you are its most beautiful poem. Stay in this silence for a moment. Feel the vibration of your own existence. The search is over. The music has already begun. As the final echoes of this journey settle within you, remember that knowledge without application is merely noise. You didn't come here just to understand reality, you came here to master it. Welcome to Quantum Files Awakening. To fully integrate the language of frequency into a life of profound growth and boundless wealth, take these 3 core lessons into your heart. First, abundance is an internal state before it is a bank balance. The universe does not respond to your needs, it responds to your resonance. If you wait for money to arrive before you feel rich, you are broadcasting the frequency of lack. To attract wealth, you must first vibrate at the frequency of the one who has. Use gratitude to tune your heart. When you resonate with the feeling of being full, the material world has no choice but to flow toward you. Second, money is energy in circulation. The word currency comes from the word current. Like water or electricity, it must flow to remain powerful. When you hold money in fear or scarcity, you create a blockage in your own frequency. Learn to give and receive with the same ease as your breath. When your frequency aligns with value and service, you become a superconductor for prosperity. Third, master the silence within the chaos. The world will always try to pull you back into the frequency of anxiety. Your task at Quantum Files Awakening is to remain stable in your frequency blueprint. Do not react to the temporary facts of your past. Stay anchored in the frequency of the future you are already living within. Your awakening is not a destination. It is a constant retuning of your soul. If these truths resonate with your vibration, subscribe and join us here at Quantum Files Awakening. Together, we will continue to decode the quantum files of existence, turning your life into a masterpiece of wealth, purpose, and freedom. Your frequency is your destiny. Choose the highest note. See you in the next awakening.